January 2026. The world is gripped by a bitter winter, but in eastern Ukraine the cold is not the only thing that chills the air. Tension hangs heavy, as if the land itself is holding its breath, waiting for something terrible to unfold. In the frozen darkness of eastern Ukraine, a monstrous convoy advances. The headlights of hundreds of vehicles pierce the night, stretching for miles across the snow-blanketed steppe, their engines growling like distant thunder. Engines rumble as hundreds of military trucks, each bristling with 40 rocket tubes, snake across the landscape. The sheer scale of the movement is staggering, an iron serpent winding its way through the darkness, unstoppable and relentless. This is the BM-21 Grad. Hail, by name and by nature. Designed to rain destruction, it is a weapon that has haunted battlefields for generations, its reputation forged in fire and fear. Satellite images confirm 400 launchers mass near Donetsk, a firepower not seen since the war's bloodiest days. The buildup is unmistakable, a signal to the world that something massive is about to erupt. Russian troops, faces hidden by scarves, guide the steel columns into camouflage positions among shattered forests and ruined villages. Their movements are methodical, practiced, as if rehearsed for this very moment. The ground vibrates with tension and the threat of devastation. Every rumble underfoot is a reminder of the power amassed here, a warning to anyone who dares to resist. For Ukrainian defenders, the sight on drone feeds is a nightmare, a wall of fire poised to strike. The images flicker on screens and command bunkers, each frame a harbinger of the storm to come. Each Grad can unleash 40 rockets in seconds. A single salvo can turn a peaceful field into a blazing inferno. The sound alone is enough to shake the nerves of even the most hardened soldiers. Multiplied by 400, it's an apocalypse waiting to happen. The sky will be torn open by thousands of rockets, a display of raw, unrestrained power that few have witnessed and survived. Ammunition trucks and command vehicles swarm, preparing for a sustained barrage. Crews work quickly, stacking crates of rockets, checking coordinates, and relaying orders. Every detail is critical. Every second counts. The world hoped for peace, but Donetsk's fields are now a launchpad for a new, ferocious offensive. The landscape, once quiet under a blanket of snow, is transformed into a staging ground for destruction. Civilians flee their homes, the distant rumble of artillery echoing through empty streets. Fear and uncertainty grip the region, as families are forced to abandon everything they know. The silence is heavy, broken only by the machinery of war. It is the calm before the storm, a moment suspended in time, as both sides prepare for what comes next. Ukrainian soldiers brace for impact, knowing what's coming. They check their weapons, share quiet words, and steel themselves for the onslaught that is sure to follow. The storm isn't gathering, it's here, ready to be unleashed. The first rockets ignite the sky, their trails painting lines of fire across the dawn. The Kremlin's message is clear: intimidation, terror, and escalation. This is not just a show of force, it is a declaration that the conflict is far from over. As the sun rises over the battlefield, the next chapter of the war is about to begin. The world watches, holding its breath, as a wall of fire moves ever closer to the heart of Ukraine. The BM-21 Grad is a Soviet-era multiple-launch rocket system, first introduced in the early 1960s and still in use today. Its name, Grad, means hail in Russian, a fitting description for the storm of rockets it can unleash in moments. Mounted on a rugged truck chassis, the Grad is designed for rapid deployment and mobility, able to move quickly between firing positions to avoid counterattacks. The system was engineered for one primary purpose: area saturation. Instead of targeting a single point, the Grad is meant to cover vast swathes of land with explosive firepower, making it a weapon of choice for breaking enemy lines or disrupting troop concentrations. It's not about precision, it's about overwhelming force, creating chaos and destruction over a wide area. The Grad's rockets are unguided, relying on sheer volume rather than accuracy to achieve their effect. When fired, these rockets blanket entire neighborhoods or fields, with high explosive warheads leaving devastation in their wake. The impact is indiscriminate, often causing significant collateral damage. A single launcher can fire 40 rockets in under 20 seconds, creating a wall of explosions that can obliterate anything caught in its path. Reloading is relatively quick, allowing for repeated barrages in a short time frame. When hundreds of launchers are used in concert, the effect is staggering. 400 launchers can unleash 16,000 rockets in just 1 minute, saturating entire regions with relentless firepower. The result is devastation over a 20-kilometer range, with little regard for what, or who, happens to be in the target zone. Fields, towns, and infrastructure are left in ruins. The Grad's psychological impact is as brutal as its physical destruction. The sudden thunderous barrages break morale, sow panic, and force both soldiers and civilians to seek shelter, never knowing where the next salvo will land. Russia's use of grads against civilian areas has drawn global condemnation, highlighting the indiscriminate nature of these attacks and the suffering inflicted on non-combatants. This mass deployment signals a shift in military tactics, favoring brute force and terror over tactical finesse or precision strikes. The presence of so many grads on the battlefield is a clear message of intent. The BM-21 Grad is a tool to smash defenses, destroy infrastructure, and terrorize populations, leaving behind shattered cities and broken communities. The battlefield has changed. Ukraine now faces a threat of unprecedented scale, where survival often depends on luck as much as strategy. Kyiv reacts instantly. The city's leadership is jolted into action as the first reports of a potential large-scale Russian assault reach the capital. Tension fills the air, and every second counts. President Zelensky calls an emergency meeting. His advisors and top military officials gather around him, exchanging rapid updates and urgent recommendations. The gravity of the situation is unmistakable on every face in the room. Maps and drone feeds cover the tables, displaying shifting front lines and enemy troop concentrations. Officers pore over the latest intelligence, searching for patterns and vulnerabilities. The threat is clear. A massive Russian offensive could break Ukrainian lines at any moment. Every unit is put on high alert, from air defense to rapid response. Soldiers rush to their posts, equipment is checked and rechecked, and commanders issue orders with steely resolve. Zelensky contacts NATO's Secretary General. Ukraine needs support now. He pleads for immediate assistance, stressing the urgency and scale of the threat. International leaders listen intently, aware that the stakes have never been higher. NATO command centers in Poland, Romania, and Germany raise readiness to the highest level. Military planners coordinate across borders, preparing to respond to any escalation. The alliance's rapid reaction forces are put on standby. Surveillance aircraft and drones flood the skies, tracking Russian movements and intercepting communications. Electronic warfare teams monitor the airwaves, searching for signs of imminent attack. Real-time intelligence flows to Ukrainian commanders, helping reposition forces and reinforce weak points. Data streams in from satellites, scouts, and allied sources, giving Ukraine a fighting chance to anticipate the enemy's next move. Air defense crews scan for incoming rockets, bracing for the worst. Every radar blip is scrutinized, every alert taken seriously, as the defenders prepare for a possible barrage. The mood is grim but determined. Ukrainian troops have faced the Grad before, but never like this. The scale of the threat is unprecedented, but so is their resolve to hold the line. Survival will depend on training, courage, and the hope that their defenses hold. As night falls, every soldier knows the coming hours could decide the fate of their country. As military leaders strategize, civilians in eastern Ukraine face terror. News of 400 rocket launchers spreads, sirens wail, families rush to shelters. The memory of recent deadly strikes is fresh. No one feels safe. Authorities urge evacuation, but many have nowhere to go. In cities like Kharkiv and Dnipro, the threat of blackouts and infrastructure attacks looms. The war targets daily life, aiming to break the will of the people. Children hide in basements, families are separated, stress and fear mounting. Yet, resilience persists. Volunteers reinforce shelters and deliver aid. The Ukrainian spirit endures, battered but unbroken. They prepare for the worst, determined to survive. Analysts scramble to interpret Russia's intentions. Is this the prelude to a massive ground offensive, using a rolling wall of rockets to shatter defenses, or a show of force, fixing Ukrainian troops in place while striking elsewhere? Some see desperation, a gamble for a decisive victory to justify the war's cost. Others suspect coercive diplomacy force Ukraine to negotiate on Moscow's terms. Whatever the motive, the stakes have never been higher. The concentration of firepower has brought the conflict to a dangerous new phase. The world watches, uncertain what comes next. The world responds with swift condemnation. Washington, London, and Paris denounce Russia's escalation, promising more aid for Ukraine. The EU prepares tougher sanctions. Inside Russia, state media spins the buildup as defensive, but independent polls show growing war weariness. Many Russians now support peace talks, frustrated by rising prices and constant anxiety. President Zelensky appeals directly to this war-weary public, proposing a demilitarized zone. The Kremlin remains rigid, demanding Ukraine cede occupied territories. Diplomacy stalls as the military buildup continues. The impasse deepens, hope for peace fading. Eastern Ukraine stands on a knife's edge. Russian firepower is poised to strike. Ukrainian defenders brace for impact. Every move is watched, every signal analyzed. One misstep could trigger catastrophe. Russia's economy strains under the war's cost. The Grad deployment is a military and economic gamble. The coming days are critical. Will Russia attack, or is this a high-stakes bluff? International pressure mounts, but the Kremlin's intentions remain unclear. For Ukrainians, these questions are life and death. They reinforce shelters, hoping for a diplomatic breakthrough that seems distant. A single order could unleash devastation or, just possibly, pull the world back from the brink. As of January 2, 2026, the future is unwritten. The Grad launchers are ready. The fate of millions hangs in the balance.